2 panzers before he himself was killed. The example we're examining today began its life as a Mark IX, but was subsequently upgraded to a Mark X-A, capable of using a Little John adapter. The Little John adapter used the squeeze bore principle. The device was about a foot long, with a smooth tapered bore. With the adapter fitted to the muzzle of the 2-pounder, the round would be compressed by the taper, going from 40mm to 30mm in diameter. This had the effect of increasing the muzzle velocity, giving the round a flatter trajectory and more energy. An armour-piercing composite non-rigid round with a tungsten core was used, designated the APSV, or armour-piercing super velocity round. It had the effect of almost doubling the muzzle velocity of the APSV round when compared to the original 2-pounder AP shell. The adapter was invented by a Czech designer, František Janeček, whose name I've probably just hideously mispronounced. He's best known for being the founder of the famous Jawa motorcycle company. The Mark I Little John device entered production in January 1943, and the Mark II was approved in May 1944. While the design of the 6-pounder anti-tank gun, the 2-pounder's replacement, had been completed in 1938, production did not begin until 1942. Following the huge losses after Dunkirk, and with invasion believed to be imminent, the decision was taken to focus on the 2-pounder, as its production line was already established. The guns remained in service throughout the war, equipping anti-tank batteries and armoured vehicles. Over 34,000 2-pounder anti-tank guns were produced between 1936 and 1944. Over 11,000 of these were deployed as anti-tank guns on carriages, while the rest were used in various vehicles. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look at something a little bit bigger than usual. If you'd like to know more, check out our accompanying blog over at armourersbench.com. Please like, share and subscribe. Sharing the video with friends really helps the channel to grow. If you'd like to support us, please consider checking out our Patreon. You can find the link in the description box below. Tab is an entirely viewer-supported project, and your help is very much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
In a recent video I happened to mention an extraordinary action that took place during World War II, in which a lieutenant colonel, a lieutenant and a sergeant, using just one anti-tank gun, were able to do an extraordinary amount of damage to the enemy. And in this video, which has been sponsored by The Great Courses Plus, but more of that later, I'm going to expand on this extraordinary action that took place in North Africa as part of the Second Battle of El Alamein. If you want to look it up, it's sometimes known as the Action of Kidney Ridge, or more commonly it's known as the Snipe Action. And the hero of this story is one Lieutenant Colonel Victor Buller Turner. He had a tough act to follow in his brother, who'd won the Victoria Cross in World War I, alas, posthumously. Victor himself became an officer in 1918, too late to do much in World War I, but in World War II he came to the fore. And on this day, which is the 26th of October 1942, the fourth day of the Second Battle of El Alamein, if someone just says the Battle of El Alamein, they mean the Second Battle of El Alamein, which is far more significant than the first. It was the big turning point in the war. The Commonwealth forces had fought back and forth across the North African desert, but this was the time when they finally were going to at least the beginning of the end for the Axis forces. Churchill himself said, before El Alamein we never had a victory, after we never had a defeat. That's not exactly true, but if you look at the graph of things going quite well badly, there was a definite downward trend, and then you had El Alamein, and then things were broadly. So I think what Churchill was talking about was the best fit lines of the two parts of that graph, with El Alamein at the trough. So Montgomery, General Montgomery is now in command. A lot of people will say that he wasn't really the architect of the defeat of Rommel, and that he was just the lucky guy who happened to be holding the baton. The guy just happened to be in command when the inevitable final victory of the Commonwealth forces took place, his predecessors having done all the groundwork for him. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So our man is being briefed about what he's going to have to do, and it's a tough brief, and he realizes that this might be a bit of a death or glory, down to the last man and the last shell operation, and others seem to be in agreement. This could be not far off a suicide mission, but well, it was the task that he was given, so he was going to do his best. He was commander of the Prince Consort's O, and I always find that difficult to say, Rifle Brigade 2nd Battalion, or 2RB as he normally referred to it for short in his reports. So, you need to know a little bit about the Battle of El Alamein, which I do mention in some of my other videos, including one about military deceptions. No, so I should point over there, shouldn't I? I always get it wrong, because I'm in the wrong way around, you see, in the monitor. Anyway, in order to get forward, the large forces attacking in the north had to get through a huge enemy minefield. And the plan was to do this by creating just thin lanes. And Turner's battalion was given the task of keeping one of these lanes open, and that's what they'd been doing all night. There was an intense artillery barrage, and people had gone forwards to clear these paths, and then they had to get queues of troops and equipment through these narrow lanes all at night, and of course all under enemy observation and fire. So it was a very difficult task, but they had managed it. They created the lanes and they'd got a very large number of forces forward. But it's night time and people are not really sure where everyone is. And Turner himself was crucially not sure where an armoured brigade that was meant to be supporting him was, or the 51st Highlanders, a very significant and experienced division of the British Army that had done a lot of fighting in North Africa. They were meant to be around somewhere doing something, but where exactly were they doing exactly what? What were their orders? And he was just not sure enough of his position, so he sent his second in command to get the guys moving forward, bring them up to the start line, whilst he went to Brigade HQ to find